Hey everybody, it's Tiny Green here at the Hoop Group. It's that time of year. It's the mid-season. It's the mid-season awards. We're going to talk about who the best players have been so far. We're going to talk about the best freshmen. We're going to talk about what's going on in the shore, who's been a surprise. So that's what I'm going to do for the next 10 minutes. Well, maybe 10 minutes. Let's see how much I have to talk about. First, let's talk about the surprise of the year to this point. For me, believe it or not, there are two teams that have shocked everybody. Manasquan has to be one. Now, let me tell you why. They lost the best player on planet Earth in Marina Mabry. They lost a Division I forward in Victoria Glavon. And then they lost the vastly underrated Jillian Black. They lost 3 players. Now that doesn't get into Hagerman, who was a senior last year, a very valuable player that's moved on to college. They've lost so much that I didn't think it was possible for them to be where they are right now. For them to be number 2 in the shore and number 3 in the state, with all that has happened to them, is amazing. Why has that happened? Let me tell you why it's happened. 1, Lisa Kokoda has proven that she is a master on the sidelines. And folks, this is not the first time Lisa has pulled this off. Let's go back to when Marina Mabry was not at Manasquan, and everybody said Manasquan was going to be horrible. All Lisa did was win 20 games, become coach of the year, and get her team in the top 20. She's got a history of doing this. But more importantly, Dara Mabry, Addie Masonis, and Stella Clark have been terrific. And I'm not talking just about points, folks, because that's all we seem to focus on. What they've done is pressure teams baseline to baseline, and then at the end of games and at the end of quarters, they have been terrific, just terrific. Nobody is closing quarters and games the way they do. And the performance versus SJV without Dara Mabry solidifies that they're the surprise team of the year. Now, they're not alone, because let me explain something to you. What John Brown is doing right now at Neptune is incredible. First of all, Neptune most likely will be in the top 20. Now we talk about Desi Allen. People, I don't know who's going to be player of the year, but if somebody's going to beat out Desi Allen for the player of the year, they better start real quick, because she's had performances right now that I haven't seen in ages. Her performance against Red Bank, you have to go back to 8 years ago and see the performance that Michaela Mabry had against Rumson that night. She was unbelievable. This was that type of stuff. And yes, she's going to be one of the most recruited players in New Jersey. But John Brown has got the kid Bennett, he's got Brianna Love, and he's got the freshman Henderson all buying in to letting Desi carry most of the offense, but yet chip in along the way. Brianna Love is a terrific player, and Bennett is fantastic. Now, those are the 2 surprise teams. But let's talk about the babies. The babies in the shore have been amazing. This has got to be our best freshman class since, I don't know, 2011, when we had 23 kids go D1 out of that class. This class is incredible. Lola Mulaney, Faith Masonis, Brielle Bisagnio, and Jenna Paul right now are having special seasons. And why? Because those 4 freshmen are determining whether their teams lose or win. They're not role players. The outcome of their team's games, in most cases, is based on how those 4 play. So those 4 have been fantastic. Then you got Isla Brennan and Sarah Capel having terrific years. Now, they're not carrying the load as those other freshmen, but let me tell you something. They're having terrific years in their own right. Sarah Capel has been big in 2 very important games. She was big in the Christ the King game, and she was big in the Rumson game. Look, those are big games on big stages, and that has been terrific. Now I want to go on to something else. Let's talk about a topic, scheduling. See, what Marlboro High School is doing this year, Rumson's doing this year, St. John Vianney's doing this year is outstanding. They've played great competition all year. John Brown last week played Coach Neck, Red Bank, and then the number 2 team in New York City, all in a 3-day period. Folks, that's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. But I think that we need more of that. So we got to give those teams who played that competition a little more weight when it comes to ratings, standings, and all that good stuff. So it's outstanding. Let's hope that we continue to sure be the leader in playing competition. Now, let's talk about All Shore at this point. Look, you know this is the best conference in the country. It's not even, people don't like to hear that, but it is. Nobody's on the same planet. Now, this year, the All Shore all-freshman teams are not going to be easy to pick. But I remind people, All Shore is not the best player. It's not the best player. It's who's having the best season. So you might be a better college prospect than somebody, but that doesn't mean you're All Shore to this point. But you talk about All Shore. So who do I think is All Shore right now? Well, there's a couple of kids we don't even got to discuss. Desi Allen could lose both legs tomorrow. She's on first team All Shore. Stephanie Cars is going to be on All Shore. Kimmy Evans, who can catch, shoot, score, block. Kimmy, you can do it all, baby. Those 3 are locks. That's not even worth discussing. They're going to be on the All Shore team. Then when you get down from there, you got to ask yourself, where are the rest of the All Shore players coming from? I don't know. Because look, Kelly Campbell was hurt, and everybody thought that she'd be All Shore. Kelly Crouch is hurt. You have players who are injured. You have a couple of players who have not had good seasons, or their teams have not had good seasons. So All Shore is not going to be easy to pick this upcoming season. But I think we got 3 locks pretty much locked in there. Now, let's go to all freshmen. Look, there's 4 locks. I just gave it to you. Who's going to be the 5th? I don't know. But here's a name nobody's going to mention, is the kid Henderson. She reminds me of Michaela Markham last year. Remember I left Michaela off my all-freshman team? How smart was that? I mean, really? What Michaela did last year was have the ball in her hands all the time. She had more responsibility than other freshmen. Most freshmen come in, they have to, fit in, do a couple of things. Henderson has the ball in her hands. I watched her against Red Bank for 32 minutes play, 1 turnover, 10 rebounds. So she's got to be a possibility. And so is Brennan, and so is Sarah Capel. We have a lot of good freshmen. So those people would have to also be considered for all freshmen. Now let's talk about the Shore Conference and who do I think is ahead of the curve right now. There is no doubt in my mind that St. John Vianney is the best team in the Shore and in the state. And I want to tell you why. Despite all the injuries they had, nothing changed. Nothing. They beat everybody. And what I like about them is they don't make excuses. They move on. It's next girl up. And that's the way they've been. But what is really special about this group is this. All of these talented players can get together and play and not be concerned about personal gain. Let me give you an example. Tina LeBron. Now, when we get All Shore done at the end of the year, Tina LeBron's got to be considered for first, second, or third team. Why? Because she's highly productive, and often the things she does never shows up in a box score. So that's important. I think Gigi Campanero, Zoe Pirro are studs who change their game for the benefit of the team. They can go for stats, they can go for numbers. No, they are about winning. St. John Vianney has a chance to be one of the greatest teams in Shore history. That's a possibility, folks, and they have the talent to prove it. So we're going to keep an eye on them. But I don't think anybody's winning anything without going through them. Manasquan, look, I don't know, because I think as the season goes on, it's tough to win it with six or seven people, really 6. And at some point, you're going to have a slip-up. Somebody's not going to play well. Somebody's going to get injured, like Darryl was injured. You can't count on that. You can't count on that. You have to hopefully have other people rise to the occasion. I think they're in a tough spot, but so far, they've been great. Now, Rumson, to me, is the biggest threat to St. John Vianney. Why? Because they can match in talent-wise. But we all know what the problem with Rumson is. Are the players going to be more concerned with their points, their playing time, and themselves versus the team? Now, they look like they have some of that under control. But I always say with Rumson, it's not the players, it's what's surrounding them. So we're going to see if they can get through the year. So far, they've done a great job. Now, Middletown South, look, they have a little more talent than people realize. Haley Delonzo, hear me loud, listen loud. Haley Delonzo is a freaking beast. You hear me? A beast. Just had to get that out. So they got Haley Delonzo and they got Stephanie Cars. Look, those two alone on any night can tear your team apart, can turn your crowd against you. They're tremendous players. I think those five right now have the best chance of, winning the SET. But remember, upsets happen, a favorite gets knocked out. Let me give you a perfect example. When Lucy Thomas comes back, watch out. St. Rose becomes an absolute beast when Lucy Thomas comes back. Why? Jen Laurel, Division I, athletic, can play either side of the ball. Ellen Stahl, one of the most improved players in the short. She's been terrific. Michaela Marco, one of the best guards in the short. She's been terrific. Loving Marcianos, tremendous player. And they got kids like Danielle Jordan starting to come alive. Now look, I'm going to finish with this because I've been talking a long time. Two things. We have some kids who've stepped up. Jess Broad this year has been absolutely terrific. So college coaches, listen to me. Listen to me, because you know it. I don't get it wrong very often. Jess Broad, get on her now. She's tremendous. There are two other players that for some reason we forgot. Harley Nella at Frio Township is tremendous. Look, Harley, don't panic, girl. Somebody is going to knock on your door and say, sign this paper, because you're too good to get overlooked. And then my last player is kind of a little bit of a sleeper because she's a Division I player and everybody knows about her. But Hannah Scanlon, I don't think anybody realizes the way this kid is playing. And let me tell you something about Hannah Scanlon. She played most of the first 4 or 5 games of the season with mono. Like, this kid has stepped it up like a beast. Hannah Scanlon, you're terrific. You're terrific. And all you Patriot schools, she's a hell of a student. But I am going to throw some salt to the Patriot schools. I think she's an Atlantic 10 player. I think she's that good. I think Hannah Scanlon's that good. So there's my little mid-season report. I'm sure everybody's going to disagree with me, but we're having a great year so far. Let's keep it up. Parents, watch your behavior. Watch your behavior. And I hope to see everybody at the Bulldog Classic. One more thing. The Martin Luther King Clinic. To all you 9th graders, 10th graders, and below, come on down on Monday. Let's get some skill work in, and we'll do some things along those lines. And again, don't forget Sunday is our student maintenance program. I don't know how any high school kid can skip that because you just don't get enough shots up. This is Tiny Green saying good luck to everybody, and I'll talk to you soon.